Do you ever wonder, why do I feel so stupid? Why do I feel like I dread going to work every shift that comes up? You know, that feeling that you feel, oh, I have to go to work tomorrow. And you're like, oh, I hate this. Does anybody else feel like this? We're going to look at the first year specifically of bedside nursing. So if you're a bedside nurse, this is for you, or you're just coming out of school. We're going to share what we wish people would have told us to sort of survive that first year of nursing at the bedside. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the show. We are healthcare professionals having unfiltered conversations on God, wellness, and purpose. Today is an exciting topic. Thank you, first of all, Lexa, for being here.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Once again.
Yeah, man. They're going to start getting tired of my voice. Like,
No.
that one girl.
No. They're excited that you're here because you always have great input. So thank you.
Wow.
One of the first things, I'm just going to jump right in, okay? One of the first things that I wish that I was told was, hey, accept the difficulty because it is going to suck. Sometimes you need someone to tell you straight up, you know, that something is going to be rough. And I don't think people told me that enough. It was just like, oh, nursing school is preparing you for this, to serve, and you go out there and you kick butt and all this stuff. And I low-key wish that someone had told me this is going to be probably more difficult the first year than sometimes nursing school was. I mean, and nursing school was difficult. Somebody testify. Hey guys, real quick before we continue with the podcast, we want to let you know about a giveaway. This is our very first giveaway of the podcast, and we went kind of big with this one. We are giving away, drum roll please.
I can't keep it going.
If you want to be basic, this is your opportunity. Do you know what this is?
What does it look like, guys? There's a handle.
This is a Stanley Cup, okay? And it's cream colored. We don't want to open the packaging and anything, so our editors will put a picture of it right here. You'll see it. And
genuine.
That's not it.
That's not all.
That's not all. Sorry.
That's not it.
A wireless charger from Anchor. This company is amazing. And I actually own one of these wireless chargers for your phone. And I have it next to my computer when I work. And this is an amazing device because it actually charges your phone very fast. And it also has a platform at the very bottom on the base where you can put your AirPods and it'll charge wirelessly as well. So this is very exciting. I own the black one, but this is actually a white one, which looks very clean and modern. So I'm a little bit jealous of whoever's going to win this. But this is an amazing thing that you can put or take to work. You know, you could always put it next to your station, wherever you chart and stuff, and have your phone fully charged and ready to go. So that's going to be the giveaway, and we will give the instructions and the eligibility of what you can do in order to enter the giveaway at the very end of this podcast. So don't go anywhere. Back to the podcast.
I think that nobody wants to tell the new nurses, like, hey.
Yeah. You're going to question your life.
Good luck, you know? So the energy from the more experienced nurses was always like, so why are you in nursing? It's so jaded. And they're like, anytime that I would be optimistic or like have a good attitude or be clearly like really upbeat and really, really positive, they would say, you're still a new nurse. They're like, just wait until a couple years pass. And I'm like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
But it wasn't ever an outright, hey, you know, it's going to be hard. It's tough. Are you okay? How do you feel about this first year?
It wasn't supportive is what you're saying.
Well, to an extent it was, but I think there's just so much understanding in the experienced crowd that it's going to be tough. And so some people actually just don't have any compassion for the new nurses because they're like, everybody goes through it. You're going to, this is like a hazing for the new ones.
Yeah. But that would be the first thing, I think. Come to a point where you accept this may be even more challenging than the schooling. This may be even more challenging than the schooling. Accept that it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
And, you know, don't sit there and be shocked that you're going through some hard. Now, the thing I want to make sure is that I'm not trying to say or to minimize anyone's actual struggle because we were going through that. We know that it's actually very difficult. I'm just saying that we have to come to a point where we accept it. Right? Don't be surprised when you are questioning whether this was for you or not.
Yeah.
Many, if not most, people will go through that within their first year of bedside nursing.
Yeah.
When you go through this trauma and this pain, there is a lot of bonding that happens with the people around you. So you may actually find some bonding, right, with your co-resident nurses or something. I mean, think when I was in nursing school, when you were in nursing school, there's probably people that we would study with and we would cry with. Oh, this is so difficult. Some of those people may be your best friends still today. Sometimes when you go through hardship, you forge some of the best friends that will stay with you for years and years. So that's a silver lining about the trauma that you will feel.
Yeah, for sure though, because we talk about, I think you discussed with somebody else on the podcast in a previous episode that it's almost like how in the Marines, like in the armed force, like it's some branch, like military or whatever. Everybody has like this bond when you've served together and you had you were overseas together or you went through combat. Like nursing
there's things
very much like that.
When you see another nurse and they say, "Oh, I'm a nurse," you kind of like do a respect nod, I know what you went through.
Yeah. And the second thing that we could probably share, or somebody could have told us, is you really aren't stupid.
Yeah.
I think each of these points are just straight up like you really aren't stupid, even though you feel like it. Because we're just basically learning a new language, a completely new culture, completely new ways of thinking.
Right. Critical thinking rather than book knowledge.
Yeah. And really, whenever you start working, it's very different than when you were learning in school. Yeah, you had all these clinical hours. Yeah, you spent many shifts trying to understand what you were learning in classes and applying the concepts to what you're doing. But I'm telling you, actually being in the room with patients, having to pull your meds from the Pyxis, having to figure out your schedule and how you're going to do all your documentation, all your patient care, all your med passes, all the things is really flipping hard.
It's an entirely new ball game.
I mean, I was just talking to a newer nurse, somebody that just started their residency where I work. And I said, hey, so how are you feeling? Because it's only been like a month maybe since they've started. And I'm just really curious about the new nurse experience. They said, Lexa, like, I have never felt so dumb in my life before. And I was like, what? I mean, I totally understand. I know how that feels. But I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And they were like, I did not think I would feel this stupid whenever I was working, because I felt like, I have healthcare experience. This person worked as a tech before they went and became a nurse. And they're like, I felt like I had experience. And I can't imagine what the brand new nurses who have zero healthcare experience are feeling, because like, this sucks. Or maybe he didn't say that, but definitely was saying it was really hard, questioning their intelligence. And I'm like, that is part of the new process, right, unfortunately. But it's unfortunately it's normal, but don't take it out on yourself. Have patience for yourself. Have grace for your learning pace, and it will come with time.
Exactly. I was about to say that. It needs to have time. You need to give it time. I would always, whenever I finished or completed my two years of nursing, I remember thinking, man, I need to tell this to new nurses. Give yourself at least one complete year. Do it. Give yourself 1 year in one place. I would encourage you. Don't try to hop around trying to, because you don't get to build enough relationship and experience, when you're just hopping around. But give yourself one complete year at one place and go through the pain. Go through the pain. And at the end of the year, you will begin to understand, you will begin to learn a lot of things about yourself. Right. So first, we were talking about accepting that it's going to be very difficult. We talked about knowing that you aren't stupid, though you may feel that way. A lot of our feelings will lie to us. That's a whole podcast right there. But our feelings will lie to us. You're stupid. You don't know what you should know this. And that's not true. That's not true. You shouldn't just know how to apply head knowledge in the real world. It doesn't happen that way. It's a new culture. And the thing that I would say, again, is to give yourself time. And at the end of that year, or maybe 2 years, you really start to say or to think, is this for me? Is this environment for me? Is this work for me? You know, how is this treating my mental health, my emotional health, my spiritual health, my physical health? And all of those things can actually point you in a direction where maybe, just maybe, this may not be for you in a variety of ways. Maybe this is not for you in a sense of a profession. That's kind of drastic. But maybe it's not for you in that environment.
Right.
Don't just toss nursing to the wind like it's the worst thing on earth if you've only had experience 2 years in one location. That's something that I always tell people, because I wanted to kick it in the can. You know, is that how you say it?
No, kick the can.
Kick the can.
Kick it in the can. What does that mean? Kick the can.
People are like fresh off the boat, Puerto Rican over here. No. Kick it in the can.
No. Kick.
Kick the can. You kick the can, and I forgot my train of thought.
No. Oh, kick the can and find something else.
Yeah. So if you hate it, if you really truly hate it, maybe it's not for you in that setting, and maybe the setting is toxic. You know, I remember when I was training in my first job. I was in my residency program, and I remember distinctly when we were taking a refresher course for ACLS and all this stuff before we went onto the floor and became actual, you know, taking patients and stuff. They had an ACLS class, and I remember distinctly that one of my fellow resident nurses I remember seeing her crying. Her instructor in ACLS was like screaming at her because she wasn't doing something right in ACLS. I'm like, oh man, this is like, I feel like trauma.
Oh my
Trauma,
word.
you know, and like making a fool out of her in public because she was doing something that was, was not the way that you did it. And she was a baby
brand new.
nurse. She was a
She
baby
had no
nurse,
idea.
right? And we were, so there are moments where maybe your environment is not the best place to learn. And that's unfortunate.
Maybe it's actually toxic.
Maybe it is toxic. Yeah. I'm all about taking personal responsibility, but you know, once you've evaluated yourself first, maybe look around the room and try to identify traits of toxic environment.
Number 4 is know that you really don't have to pretend to have it all together, because if you are going through a situation like that, a toxic culture, or you're having a really hard time grasping the concepts, or putting it into practice is just something's not clicking for you, you have to be able to ask either your manager or your charge nurse or whoever is precepting you, I need more help. Like I need longer orientation, or I need this to be explained in a different way or something, because we've said it before, nobody's going to be the best advocate for yourself other than yourself. And especially if it's your learning process.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, you can't
like
say
take
that
ownership
enough.
of your own learning process. Nobody's going to baby you through it. And if you want to take the best care of your patients in the future, you have to try and be active in getting the best understanding at the beginning. Yes, a lot of stuff comes with time, but you know, speak up for yourself if you don't get along with your preceptor. Change your preceptor. It's okay to do that. It doesn't make you a wimp.
Use the opportunity as a brand new nurse to ask the dumbest questions you can.
Yeah.
Because you know what you don't want to do? Not ask questions at any point. And when you're 5 years down the road, okay, when people start having, and you didn't ask those questions, now if you ask something, it really does sometimes sound stupid because you've been in the field for 5-6 years, you know, so use the beautiful opportunity to ask the dumb questions early on.
Yeah.
So, and you know, whenever you ask preceptors, what is the number one red flag is when newbies pretend
they know everything.
to know that, you know, pretend to know stuff. That's the number one red flag of a baby nurse.
Yeah, for sure.
So be stupid. Say it.
I'm stupid.
Yeah,
No.
dude, look, this is a stupid question, but what is this?
Yeah.
I don't know what the flip that is.
Yes, all the time. But it's safer to do that than not ask and then hurt your patient
Yeah.
or cause an issue in the unit or just like not learn the right way to do something. And especially for those people like me who have a very hard time asking or like feeling like you look stupid. Man, it was really tough in nursing school. I talked a little bit on a previous episode that was really hard in nursing school. And then when it came to my actual nursing orientation, I tried to do the opposite. I tried really hard to ask many, many questions, even though it was really hard. Like it was against my nature, against the fear that I had and anxiety. Like I was so anxious, but I had to ask questions and even like reinforce things that I knew I understood. I would re-explain it to my preceptor so I could really solidify the understanding. Because I actually did not have any healthcare experience prior to working as a nurse.
You weren't a tech or something?
No, I never worked as a tech. I was not ever a CNA or anything like that. Never went to phlebotomy or anything. I was like,
Brand new.
I mean, everybody in my family's like in healthcare, so I'll be fine.
I worked at Mooya.
Okay, yeah, I was a burger flipper. Okay, humble beginnings.
Yeah, you flirping.
Flirping? You're flirping burgers.
No, you're flipping patients,
Oh, true.
side to side. Flip burgers, flip patients.
Not the same.
No, okay.
Okay,
All
no.
right.
People are not just pieces of meat.
All right.
Anyways, yeah, I was just gonna say for sure you should ask questions, especially if you don't come from a background of healthcare. There's a lot of new things, and for me, I also felt really, really dumb. I always have this feeling of like everybody hates me and I'm so dumb whenever I go into this new environment, and that for sure happened as being a new nurse. I don't know if I really opened up to my manager. I did not open up to my manager about how I was feeling. First of all, yeah, he was not like a sensitive type of dude. So
sucks, yeah.
I had to learn how to have thicker skin also. When I was like a year and a half or 2 years into my nursing career, that's whenever I could joke about my first experience or my new nurse experiences with the manager. Like he made fun of me in front of like a group of people. And I was like, I have to brush it off.
annoying.
I have to brush it off because it's true. I had like, in the moment when they were trying to intubate one of my patients, I still had this new grad mind mush.
Yeah.
And I was trying to start a bath for another patient. And in my mind, I was like, well, my preceptor's got it. And that's an emergent moment.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what I'm doing. So I'm going to stay in here where it's safe and I'm just going to bathe someone. I think that's really what my mind was processing. And then my manager happened to be on the unit. And he like comes in there and he's like, hey, they're intubating your patient. I'm like, I like freeze and I have like this wet rag in my hand and my basin full of soap and water. I'm like,
but I gotta bathe my patient.
yes, I was one of those. I was such a baby nurse mistake. Okay.
Yeah, your heart's probably
I
like.
felt so stupid.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think this is more of my priority. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I put the bath stuff
Did you
down.
leave the patient there? Just
Yeah, no, they weren't naked or anything. I had not started. I had just gotten the supplies already. So thank you, Lord. Yeah. But that was joked about like in front of a whole group of people.
Yeah.
And hindsight, it was hilarious. It was really dumb.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Laugh
but
at yourself.
You can laugh at yourself. It was part of the new nurse experience. I understand. I'm a little ditzy sometimes. So
build that thicker skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
so-
thicker sin. Build that thicker skin. I remember also when I had a bedside trach that was being done for my patient.
Oh, wow.
And they did the doctor was there and he was using Vec, and so he was like he was like, oh, was the how you call out the medication that you push or whatever. So I pushed Vec while he was working, right? And I, instead of saying Vec, I said Vank.
Oh,
So I said Vank in or something.
Yeah, he's like, what?
And he started busting out laughing.
no.
He was like, oh yeah, Yeah, that's great. Put that zinc
antibiotic in.
Yeah, it's great that you put that antibiotic in for us to do this bedside trach. And everyone in there was laughing, and I was still with my preceptor.
Oh,
and I got so red.
I'm sure you got so embarrassed.
Yeah, because I said the wrong medication or whatever.
You know, that kind of stuff happens.
That stuff happens. You just gotta laugh. You know, you gotta laugh and let it roll off your shoulder.
In the moment, you're gonna feel like, okay, were those jokes necessary by both people? No,
probably not. But it makes healthcare more fun, right?
For the more experienced people. Once again, okay, we're not trying to encourage people to be bullied, but some of those things
you
happen.
have
It's just
to just
part
laugh
of it. Okay?
at yourself.
Yeah.
Laugh at yourself. Let it roll off your shoulder.
Yeah. And then you can tell other new nurses that you also made
That's
weird,
right.
dumb mistakes.
Then you can make these stories whenever you earn your stripes, right?
Yeah.
That's part of it. That's part of it.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think is very important to survive your first year.
This is number 5, everyone.
Yeah.
We're still counting.
We're
Last
still
time
counting.
we couldn't count in the last episode. We're like number 7.
And we were in number 3.
It wasn't that bad.
All right, number 5.
Number 5.
Another thing that I think is beneficial to survive your first year is going to sound corny. Journal. Do it. It really does.
It's really good.
It really does help when you journal and you put your emotions out on paper or your thoughts. It doesn't have to be this big emotional thing.
Yeah.
Just write out your thoughts. Write out the things that you learned. Write the things that made you look like an idiot in front of everybody else. Write it down. Right. Write down these experiences because you will go back. And what's really good is very therapeutic. But also you can look back to see how far you've come. And that's an awesome thing. There will be a time if you do something long enough that you will be such a veteran. You will be such a veteran and you will know exactly what medications, you know exactly what to do when a patient starts to look a certain way. There will be moments, okay, down the road, if you do this long enough, that you will know what a patient's face looks like before they go under.
Yeah.
Or you just get this gut feeling of something's about to happen. You get so good at that little tingly feeling in your stomach or something. Yeah. Something's going wrong.
Spidey sense.
You get the spidey sense.
Yeah.
Those are amazing moments. But oftentimes we forget how far we've come. And we forget what it was like to be a new nurse. And that's why I think, it's so good to be writing these things down, not only for the therapeuticness of it, because it's absolutely therapeutic, but also because you can look back and see how far you've come. How awesome is that?
Oh yeah. Recently, actually, we found some of Alexander's old journals. How long have you been a nurse again? When did you graduate?
I graduated in 2016, so I've been a nurse for about 7 years. Yeah.
So I think it was either 2017 or 2018. Alexander wrote something in one of his journals, and it had something to do with a very, very impactful, very tight knit bond that he developed with a patient, and the emotional impact of that. And it was really, really deep and very moving to read it. And Alexander was like, whoa, just transported me back to meeting that family, taking care of that patient, and how he felt whenever the patient eventually passed away.
Oh yeah.
That was it was so difficult to revisit the feelings there. But you also remember those amazing families and patients that you met.
That is absolutely right. Yeah.
I remember, I can't remember which, I wrote in some journal, my worst night shift ever.
Yeah. Is that what you wrote?
But how awesome I felt afterwards, because I felt like even though it was so freaking hard, and it was a lot of things happening at one time. My patient had a PE in front of my eyes and went into respiratory arrest and cardiac arrest. And it was just a boom, boom, boom. And we're on 7 drips at the end of the shift when I started, the night before. It was this big old thing.
Yeah.
And when I wrote it down, I was so proud of how I had been able to handle that shift.
That's right.
And I was like, man,
Yep.
how far I have come. Thank you, God.
Yeah, it's a good reminder.
Yeah.
And especially, I love what you said, that when you write the moments, those stories that were impactful, I would encourage you, man, write about your patients. Write about your patients and how they made you feel. Write about the ones that are difficult, the ones that impacted you in a positive way. write about your colleagues, write about the people who belittle you, write about the people who make you feel like a champion, write about your managers, write about these things. Do it. What's another way that we can survive our first year of nursing?
Okay. Make sure. Number 6.
This is the most cliche, but
This
it's so
is
true.
so true. We cannot stress enough. We did not learn this enough in
Yeah.
nursing school. Nobody was there really to tell us how to do this. Number 6 is make sure to take care of your health.
Yes.
The whole time you're going through this new nurse experience, you have all these stressors. You're like probably worrying a whole bunch, not getting the great sleep or eating the best food. You've got, if you've not worked before, or, this is like your first big girl, big boy, career. You probably not earned this much money before. So you're like spending it on things you probably don't need. All this to say, you can let your health slide. I know that
not you can.
you probably will.
You will.
Okay. You probably will.
Because the way you said it made it sound like you can let your health slide.
You shouldn't.
No,
but you probably will.
Yeah.
I know I did. I don't know if you did. You were working out a lot, so I don't know if you were necessarily.
It was mental health.
Mental health, was it? Okay.
Yeah, because there's
Yes.
physical health. I was doing okay physical health,
Yeah.
but it's a mental health, maybe emotional health that I wasn't checking.
Oh,
Community.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we could say here.
Yeah. So making sure that you're taking care of your physical health, like sleeping enough, eating enough,
Eating right.
or eating not too much.
Yeah.
Exercising, and your spiritual and mental health, like
Praying, studying your
Make sure
Bible.
that you study the Bible and you pray, or make sure that you're filling yourself so that when you go to work, you're not just this drained from an empty cup situation. And also try and serve other people, like whether that's people in
What?
your home. Like, no, seriously, because whenever you're at work, you're always serving other people. That's your job, to serve
It's
people.
an easy cop out for
Yes.
nurses to be like, well, I'm serving others, so when I go home, I just need to. It's
just need time.
consumerism, and I'm just gonna sit on my bed and eat potato chips and all this stuff and watch these Netflix series. That's not healthy. And actually, it is very, very healing to give to others in, maybe not in a hospital setting, but maybe a friend, right?
Yeah,
Take out a friend to eat and pay
Yeah.
for their meal.
Yeah.
That is a healing thing for you.
Right. And it's not to say you are not allowed to have any practices, like you can never eat junk food, or you're not allowed to like get on Netflix. You're a bad person for doing that.
Right.
That's not what we're saying.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Fake news.
I don't need some haters up in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to clarify, of course you may have time where you take for yourself, and you should, but don't just make your goals for your days off to be all about me. Because
It can be a problem.
it may not be the most filling thing.
Yeah.
And serving other people, whether it be your family that you live with, or people at church, or volunteering, or just small things like, I don't know, sending cards to your
writing
friends.
a note. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Writing a note to someone can even be healing for yourself. And I heard it
Yeah.
I heard somebody say one time that oftentimes when we do that self-care, right, when we do things, it's still giving and serving to others, because when you are okay, you're better able to help others.
Yeah.
So, sometimes we look at these things, self-care, sometimes it's too self-centered. And I would agree with that in a lot of ways. But we also remember that when we fill our cup in, to be able to make sure that we are spiritually well, physically well, all these things, it's, again, at the end of the day, it's to better serve other people, because that's where we truly find fulfillment, is loving others, serving others, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it would be wise to have some goals for things you want to achieve in your personal life.
Oh, yeah.
Because work can be so all consuming, and it's difficult to there's this mental divide between when you're at work and then you're at home, like your personal life versus your professional life. At least for me, I fell into the oh my gosh, I've been working and I'm so tired, so I'm not going to do any work, on my days off. But then I would be stressed if I didn't do my laundry, if I didn't prepare my meals.
Yeah.
You know, like doing active things. Be intentional about your time on your days off because it will build you up for your days on and for your life in general. Have something you're trying to achieve outside of work because you will be more fulfilled when you come back to work.
That's right. A couple of other things that I would say super practical. Okay, super practical. This is not even in the notes, but super practical to survive your first year of Bedside. I would say drive to work, either drive to or from work with some either affirmations is one way, like listening to affirmations, Bible verses or something like that, praying, on your way to work. Or this is what I would do. Some people would say that's not healing, but it would work for me is if I left the hospital with some bumping music or I would head to the hospital with some bumping positive music to hype yourself up for the shift. Enjoy your way to work.
Yeah.
I think that is a good practice. Another thing that is very practical would be to move to a location that doesn't cause you to drive too far. When I first started, I was driving an hour on night shift, an hour to work. Is this mic on? Do not do what I did. Do not do that. I almost died like 17 times.
Oh my gosh. It was God. It was the angels.
Don't do
that
it.
kept him alive. Seriously?
Listen.
Yeah.
It's a no. It's a no-go. Move to a place where you are almost a stone throw away from this hospital because you want to be able to... Okay, maybe not a stone throw because that's a little too close to... Especially if people find out that you're nearby. Hey, do you want to pick up?
Yeah,
you're
like,
2 seconds away.
No.
No. But I would say a good sweet spot is maybe 15 minutes.
15 to 30 minutes.
To 30 minutes maximum is good.
Yeah.
Is good.
Yeah,
Gives you enough time for a couple of good songs on the way to work.
Yeah.
And also, I would say meal prep, right? Don't show up to the hospital without a good lunch and then you're left to go to the cafeteria. No, go with like a good meal, make sure you have healthy snacks and don't just survive off of, what's it called? Energy drinks. Don't survive off of energy drinks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Another super practical, sorry, these are just like lightning round.
Alexander's like, it's all coming to him right now.
Golden nuggets, let's go. Here's another one. Don't stay on night shift too long.
Oh.
You will have to probably start on night shift.
There are people out there that are going to be like, no, I love night shift.
There's people.
Why would I
There's
go
people.
to day
They're gonna
shift
fight
when
me.
I make
They're gonna
less
fight me.
money for more work?
Wow, you sound really...
Clearly, we're day shifters, okay?
Yeah, no hate on the night shift. No
Alexander was on night shift forever.
Yeah, somebody has to do it, Somebody has to do it. But here's the fact. There's a lot more effort that comes into play if you want to be a healthy night shifter. A lot more effort and a lot more work. And I will tell you this, it's possible. You can do it. But if it's not working out for you, don't feel like you have to take it. No. Make it your goal to go to day shift as soon as possible, even though it may scare you a little bit because there's rounds and all this stuff.
You can handle it, dog.
You can handle it.
You can.
It's
okay.
It might be good to start on night shift because you don't have the rounds. But eventually, if that's your goal, don't be afraid to just nip it in the butt and say, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it, So you go to day shift. That would be my practical stuff. Is there any other practical thing that you want to throw out there?
I think that's great because there's a lot of night shifters that I was like, yeah, you're positive that you love being on night shift? Coping.
Yeah.
Because when they moved to day shift, they were like, I don't know why I spent so long on night shift. I was like, I was just waiting for you to come to the light side.
To the light side, not the dark side. Listen, y'all.
Seriously.
Unfiltered conversations. That's what we do here at Nice Veins, bro. Unfiltered conversations on God, wellness, and purpose. We want to have like a super refreshing approach on these things that affect all healthcare people. Today was specifically about bedside nursing. If you are a bedside nurse and any of this rubbed you the wrong way, please let us know in the comments.
You probably will already.
Yeah,
based on the past in the comments.
Or if you have additional advice to survive your first year of bedside nursing or any other profession that you want to share, I think we have a giveaway.
All right, everybody, we're gonna have our very first podcast giveaway.
Hey!
Wow! Oh wow! Wow!
I'm
kept all the
fancy. I'm
sound.
fancy.
Yeah, guys. So we have a real gift.
Yes.
Real gift, as we showed before.
Let's show it on the screen. This is what we're giving away. We're giving away a Stanley Cup.
40-ounce Stanley Cup, cream colored.
Beautiful. And
also an Anchor wireless charger for iPhone, and also it includes a spot for the AirPods charger.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So
To charge
here's
the
what you have to do.
Okay, number 1, you have to go to our Instagram page at Nice Veins Bro. You have to follow us.
Okay, that's number 1.
Number 2, like the giveaway post. We'll have like a picture with the rules and everything included
On there on the Instagram page. You got to like that.
And then number 3, tag 3 friends in the comments of that post so that we can spread the word.
That's right.
Get somebody some Stanley Cup
That's
and a
right.
wireless charger.
Yeah. And we want you
Yeah.
guys to win. So do that.
Yeah.
Is there a way that they can get more entries or not this time?
Not this time. In the
Okay.
future, we'll think about it.
Yeah.
We're gonna work up to that.
Yeah. The
But,
goal is really
yes.
to get our Instagram with lots of followers
Yeah.
and all this stuff, and we're excited to do this giveaway.
So you guys have until the last day of September 30th, to enter this giveaway. We will choose a winner,
Yeah.
and then we will let you know via probably Instagram.
October the 1st is the day where we're gonna announce it. Okay. So make sure that you are your eyes are peeled to our Instagram. We're gonna announce it on Instagram through our stories and through a post and all that stuff. So you have 2 weeks? I guess
Yeah, it's
2 or
2
3
weeks.
weeks. Yeah, something like that. So that's your deadline. No, 2 weeks.
2
yeah,
weeks
you have
from
2 weeks.
17th, yeah.
Yep. So you have 2 weeks. September 30 is the deadline. So go do that. Go like it. Follow Nice Veins Bro page on Instagram. Like the post or the giveaway post that we have on there. Tag 3 friends in the comments, and you will be entered into the giveaway. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. If you enjoyed it, please share it with someone and do all of the things. Like, comment, share. Especially on YouTube, we want to see those comments. So share it with somebody. Remember to be a positive force and influence within healthcare and society. Que Dios me los bendiga. When I would listen to podcasts before I became a podcaster myself, I didn't realize how much leaving a 5-star review helped. And so now on this side, I just want you to know that it really does mean a whole lot when people review and share the content. So if you enjoyed it, please share it with somebody and leave a 5-star review on whichever platform you use, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And if you're interested, you can also find us on social media at Nice Veins Bro, or shop online at niceveinsbro.com. My personal stuff you can find under NENEPABLO, which is spelled NENEPABLO. I spend most of my time on YouTube making vlogs and videos, and on Instagram. So I would love to connect with you. And remember, be a positive force and influence within healthcare and society. It's all about God, wellness, and purpose here. Thank you for listening.